What's up, gang? Welcome back to my channel. My name is Janique. Thank you so much for tuning back in today. If you are a returning subscriber, if this is actually your first time joining me, I appreciate you for tuning in today. Before you leave, don't forget to click on that subscribe button and also click on the notification bell. That way you don't miss an episode or anything that I do here. Today we're going to be talking about how you need to watch the company you keep. So if you're interested in hearing more about God's word, make sure you stick around until the end of the video. Let's go ahead and hop into it.
I look like money, grab the camera, I'll say cheese. What am I supposed to do? When my life look like my pictures do. What? He still ain't posted you. Come let me show you what you supposed to do. Go, bounce up on that dude. Go show these niggas they can't F with you. Look what you made me do. I gotta show you how real one
Whew. We've been hearing people tell us watch the company we keep for years, since we were young, you know, if you're a millennial like myself, but it's now more true than ever. I actually got this idea from this video a little minute ago, but I just watched a movie that brought me back to it. I just watched a movie called Damsel on Netflix, and it's about a girl who one day had some kingdom people come and promise her family gold so she could marry the prince, only to get there and find out that she was actually being sacrificed to a dragon that used to terrorize their kingdom. So at the end of the movie, let me just tell you guys, the girl ended up escaping the dragon, making friends with the dragon, and actually taking the dragon back home with her to her people. And I was so confused at the end, because I'm like, why would she make friends with the beast? I'm still trying to wrap my mind around the ending. Like, why would she make friends with the beast? I don't know what type of message that the person who wrote the movie was trying to send people, but it rubbed me the wrong way. But it just reminds me of how people who are miserable essentially get you on their side and then infiltrate your lives. We know the saying, misery loves company, and that's so true. Because I'm seeing people get corrupted by other people. I'm seeing people take on negative traits from other people, and it's right in front of their eyes. It's like they're blind to what they're experiencing, or they're blind to what they're being exposed to, or they're blind to what they're being influenced to do, and I really don't like seeing that. I want to remind you that it's more important to surround yourself with real people, genuine people, people who fear God, people with morals, values, and principles, as opposed to people who are just there to have a good time. One for sure sign of a miserable person is a person who is always trying to surround themselves with other people. Like, say you got a friend, they always got a lot going on, but they always want you on the phone with them. You got some stuff to handle, boo. Why do you keep calling me? I'm not understanding. You got real life issues going on. Why are you calling my phone? A person who constantly wants you around and over to their house, and they don't got nothing going on over there. They know they need to be focused on something else. They're constantly trying to have you in their presence. And a miserable person will always try to make you feel like you're the miserable one. The whole time, it's really them. For instance, I am not agreeing with a family member, and that family member has said all kind of things about me, not only to me, but to other people. The family member told me I need therapy and all kind of other stuff the last time we really spoke. And a few months later, here goes a family member hitting me up on Facebook talking about, hey, what you doing in July? Like, what you got going on? Like, we trying to go take a trip to this place, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, I didn't even respond, because how delusional are you to think I'm going to surround myself with you, let alone want to go out of town, spend my money, my time, my energy, and take a trip with you after these things that you have said to me. People are insane. But again, a miserable person ain't even reading the room. They not even realizing, like, wow, I said all these things to this person. Why would I want to be around them? Instead, they're like, no, I said all these things to this person, but I don't care. I still want to be around them. Go ahead, let me hit them up. Like, you're delusional. For real. I digress on that, because at the end of the day, family is family, so they're going to always be who they are. Don't ever expect your family members to change, period. They don't have it in them, especially older people. Because the older you are, the older you get, the more you get set in your ways, or the more you are set in your ways. It's very hard to teach an old dog new tricks. That's with anybody, right? And I mean, some people are like myself where we're more than willing to learn. We're more than willing to get the knowledge we need to become better people, but most people aren't. You feel what I'm saying? Let me see what percentage of people are miserable. Let me see that. What percent of people are? Only 31% of Americans are satisfied with their life. Wow. And it says 11% said they were somewhat dissatisfied, and 9% are very dissatisfied. Wow. Most people hate their life. We know that. We see them change all kind of things about themselves to show us that they hate their lives. We see them go risk their lives and get surgery. We see them change their whole appearance. We see them take cosmetic measures, take life endangering measures where it's like pills and all kind of things to change how they look, as opposed to accepting who they are as a person and then working with their canvas. So I don't know. I can't relate to a miserable person because I'm not that. So let me get back into my positive mode. I don't know if you guys watch Country Wayne, but I'm very, very heavy on Country Wayne skits. I watch them every day. I tune in every day because he be speaking about real life issues that I know people are going through. Right now, one of the main characters, her husband actually got her best friend pregnant, and now they're hiding it, and they're still in front of her face. They're talking to her every day. She's telling the enemy everything. Literally, the enemy is sleeping with her, and the enemy is also around her any other time throughout the day as her best friend. And I watched this girl really want this other girl's life, and I just can't understand that. Like, why do people... I don't even understand where their feelings come from. But I want to remind you that a person who is miserable is a person who literally they're unhappy or they're uncomfortable. So what a person feels is what they want to... What a person feels on the inside is what they're going to be exposing you to on the outside. If a person feels happy on the inside, you're going to be exposed to peace and happiness when you're around them. But if you are around an unhappy or an uncomfortable person, guess what their goal is? Guess what their goal is? To make you unhappy or to make you uncomfortable. And they do that various ways. How many times have you been around a friend and you and this friend are being introduced to a new group of people, and around this group of people you notice your friend keeps taking digs at you, making fun of you, let me say, and doing little things to get under your skin or to make you appear a certain way in front of the new people? You know why they're making you uncomfortable? Because they're secretly uncomfortable within themselves. A person, say you're in a relationship with them and they can't make you happy, or they refuse to make you happy. They're doing anything and everything to really rub you the wrong way, because deep down inside they're unhappy, they're uncomfortable, they've been rubbed the wrong way, and now they're trying to pass that energy along to you. Everything is an energy exchange, and I don't want you to be deceived by a miserable soul, because a person who is secretly unhappy, their main goal is to try to convince the world that they are happy. We see this on social media all day long. We see people, hiding behind pictures, hiding behind posts, talking about how good they think they look, but none of the pictures are of their face. So how do we know you're beautiful or you're pretty when every picture is of your behind? I'm not understanding that. But these little signs are how people tell on themselves and how they're secretly feeling on the inside. People are trying to convince us all day that there are no problems. They have not a care in the world. And the way they're going to show you this is by constantly posting and updating you on social media. When people who are genuinely happy, people who are genuinely content, aren't busy trying to convince the rest of the world that they are feeling that way. They're just busy enjoying the feeling or the energy that they feel. Of course, I had to come with some Bible verses to talk to you guys a little bit about this, because I just want everybody to be surrounded by good company. I want everybody to be in good energy. And the only way to do that is to either be the good energy and surround yourself with no one, or to surround yourself with positive energies as well. It's so important to take every interaction you have with the person into consideration when judging their character. And they say, judge lest ye be judged. So if you judge someone on their character, be prepared to be judged on your character as well. I've never had a problem with that. That's why I don't like when people be like, oh, you're so judgmental. Okay, that's fine, because I'm okay with getting judged for what I'm doing as well, for how I am, for who I am, for how I act, for how I treat other people. So the only people who fear being judged are the ones that aren't doing the right thing, are the ones who don't want to get judged for what they're doing. And you notice the people who always be like, oh, you being judgmental. Like, the thing that they're doing that you're being judgmental about is something that they shouldn't be doing. So, like, come on. Of course you know I was going to judge you. Like, what are you saying? But, judge lest ye be judged. So, listen to these scriptures and remind yourself and keep these close to your heart. Write these down. Put these in a notebook. But just remind yourself about the type of people that you need to be surrounding yourself with in order to prosper and in order to keep your mind in the right space for this next chapter in your life. So first we got Proverbs 16:29. Wickedness loves company and leads others into sin. When they say wickedness loves company, it's a person who is always doing the wrong thing. Have you noticed that they always want you to engage in that same behavior? I used to have a friend who was a THOT. I ain't gonna lie to you, right? And I'm just reminded of how much she tried to get me to partake in the same activities that she was partaking in. And you know why they do that? People do that because they're not going to feel bad about what they're doing if they see another person doing it too. When they see that they're the only one that's partaking in the action, then all of a sudden they want to convince you to do it. They want to convince you to join in the fun, right? And it's not fun. It's really hindering you spiritually. So I had to, of course, stop surrounding myself with a person like that. And this is not to slut shame. This is not to say that everybody doesn't have a past. But at the end of the day, it's okay to be a certain way in terms of how fluid a person is with their sexuality, how fluid a person is with their sex life, period. But to convince another person to do it too is a lot for me. It's like, why do you have to influence me? Why can't you just be okay with what you're doing if it's really okay? Most people don't want to go to hell alone. That's why it says it leads others into sin. A wicked person is going to lead you into sin as well. Take inventory of the people in your life. Are the people around you causing you to live in sin? If so, you know those are the people that you need to be ridding yourself of. Why do you want to hang around a person who is okay with sending you to hell? With having you come right along with them to hell? Like, I'm not understanding that. Why is that a person you want to keep in your life? It shouldn't be. We got Proverbs 15:15. A miserable heart means a miserable life. A cheerful heart fills the day with song. So that God is telling you already. Because at the end of the day, you can show us whatever you want to show us in the physical world, but God knows your heart. So God said a miserable heart means a miserable life. Your life will be in complete misery because that's truly what your heart is. It's truly how you feel in your heart. But a cheerful heart fills the day with song. A cheerful heart has no care in the world. But only God knows this. Proverbs 15:16. A simple life in fear of God is better than a rich life with a ton of headaches. So, you know, a lot of people are out here hanging around others for what they have or what they could do for them or the type of money that they have or can give them. And at the end of the day, God's letting you know here, it's better not to have a lot and live in fear of him. Because if you are busy chasing that rich life, your life is going to be full of headaches. You're going to have a lot more problems. You hear that saying, more money, more problems. It's a real thing. You know why? Because the more money you get, the more you have to do to get that money. I'm not going to lie. Like, there's a lot of rules you have to violate. Oh my God, let me tell you. I actually just watched Squid Game yesterday. And I don't know if y'all have ever seen it, but I saw the original one where the guy, he was basically broke. His daughter was about to move to the U.S. with her mom and her new stepdad, and he needed some funds quick. So he actually met a man who told him he could participate in games in order to win this money. And it had like 456 people all together. But to watch these people kill each other, lie to each other, cheat each other, steal from each other, do all types of things just to win money, it just tells you how it's symbolic of how dirty or grimy or how low a person will go in order to get rich. So just be wary of that. Stop chasing money. Stop chasing money. Chase God, and then money will come to you. Proverbs 31:6-7. Give strong drink to the one who is perishing, and wine to those in bitter distress. Let them drink and forget their poverty and remember their misery no more. God is telling you here, this is a telltale sign of what a of what a miserable person is doing in order to be distracted from their reality. He says, give strong drink to the one who is perishing. That means you're dying. That means you're dying. Give strong drink to them. That's what these drinks are outlets at this point, because it's like people drink to forget reality, and only to come back and become sober and see that the reality that they were trying to run from is still very much present. They're still in it. There's no way to escape it by drinking. All you can do is drink again and again and again, because you'll need that vice in order to keep forgetting. So be mindful of that, of a sign of a miserable person. I had a friend a few years ago who, she was a turnip friend for sure, but she ended up getting hospitalized, and she didn't tell anyone until afterwards. But she had some issues with her liver and her kidney, and she was put on medication and told verbatim she could not drink. And she would still come over and try to turn up with me, and I'll try to remind her, like, girl, like, you know, you just had this health scare, like, we could do something else besides drink. And she'd get upset with me, pissed actually, that I cared about her well-being, I guess. But she basically let me know she did not want to hear that. She was there for the turn up, like, that's what she's gonna be on, and if I'm not trying to take a drink with her, then I need to stop talking to her. And I had to actually stop talking to her, because I can't be around a person who cares so little about themselves that they're gonna drink themselves to death. That's just not the type of company I want to keep, because at the end of the day, that spirit that's on that person can always be transferred to you. Don't think you're so big that a spirit can't come to you. A spirit can fall on you, and you could become a victim to that spirit, and I just ain't trying to do all that. So keep watch out for those people who are abusing drinking. It's okay to have a celebration drink every once in a while, but when you're, let me say, quote unquote, an alcoholic, and we know what the symptoms are of that, it's a very thin line. But when you're doing all that to try to escape your reality, I don't want to be in that reality with you. You feel me? Now we got Proverbs 13:20. Keep company with the wise, and you will become wise. If you make friends with stupid people, you will be ruined. And I tell my man this all the time. Like, I be telling him about his friends all the time, because I'm just like, man, you got to make sure that your friend is headed the same direction that you're headed, man. If they're not wise, they're going to speak foolishness to you. Like, what are you guys going to have in common? Like, it's either you're around them and they're using you to make themselves better, or they're around you to tear you down. God said, if you make friends with stupid people, you will be ruined. How many times do you see your friend get into a little situation and you with them? Now all of a sudden you guilty by association. I saw a video recently on TikTok where a guy went on a high-speed chase with his baby mama and his kid in the backseat. And it's just like, oh my God, she could not believe she was in a situation. She actually ended up getting arrested too. But it's like, oh my God, it's like, it takes a situation like that for you to really realize the type of company you have around you. Because who will go on a high-speed chase with a kid in the backseat? It's just insane. But again, if you're around stupid people, you're in the presence of stupidity, you will be a victim to it, I promise you. Now, Proverbs 13:21, it says, trouble follows sinners everywhere, but righteous people will be rewarded with good things. How many times are you around a person and they got a problem with another person? How many times are you around a person who is constantly experiencing beef and you're in the middle of that? I had a homegirl when I was younger. Every time we went out, she wanted to fight. She wanted to tussle. She wanted to get busy, active. I had to stop hanging around her, because every time we go out, you're creating the problems. You're the problem, no one else. Like, you're creating these problems, and you don't want to be around a person like that, because at the end of the day, that can cause you to lose your life. You just never know how deep something can go. People perish every single day doing the thing that they didn't even think would lead to their death. So that's just why I want you to be mindful. Like, these situations and environments and experiences that you put yourself in can be your last if you're not careful. 1 Corinthians 15:33. Do not be deceived. Bad company ruins good morals. If you're around a person with no morals and you're not standing on business about your morals, then you will become a person with no morals as well. Period. Like, what's that movie? I think it's called Lola, where it's about that girl who was on Twitter talking about how she made friends with another girl, and and she ended up being trafficked with the girl, or the girl tried to traffic her. It's like, it's like, what? Trouble followed them everywhere because she was with that girl. But before she met up with that girl, she was cool. She was good to go. I'm trying to think. I don't really make too many friends with troublemakers these days. They just don't come into my path. So I can't speak too much on it right now. But again, if you around a person who always got an issue everywhere they go, they always in some mess. They always calling you. They got some mess going on. You need to get away from them very fast. Let me say this because I don't want my message to get misconstrued. We are all sinners. Like no sin is greater than the other. But we don't wanna be in the presence of a person who is purposely sinning. When you sin, repent and then stop the sin. But to repeatedly keep sinning, like physically, like in front of everybody, like you're doing too much. 2 Corinthians 6:14. Do not be unequally yoked with unbelievers. For what partnership has righteousness with lawlessness, or what fellowship has light with darkness? God is saying here, how can you come into agreement with a person who believes something other than what you believe? A person who doesn't spiritually care about themselves the way you do, and expect to be equally yoked when you're coming in different on different levels. That's what God is really saying here. Like, what partnership has righteousness with lawlessness? How can you be around a person and condone their behavior, ignore their behavior, watch their behavior, and expect to not get influenced by it? It's a trick of the enemy. Don't be fooled. People are so scared to be alone that they'll be around the devil, be around the enemy, be around Satan, hang around them 24/7, allow them in their crib, allow them in their space, allow them in their workplace, allow them in their car, heck, allow them in their body, and then try to figure out why you got all these certain things going on, okay, because you let the enemy in. I hope you got something from my message today. If you did, make sure you check out some of my other messages, and I'll see you in the next one. Janique here, Janique TV. Peace.